Gettysburg Demoniac, thank you for your super chat. If we found an early copy of Mark, do you think Jesus would be convicted for something about blasphemy?
I don't think he is convicted of blasphemy in Mark. He is convicted in the sense that the high priest says he's guilty of committing blasphemy, but he's not condemned to death for it. The legal conviction is over his claim that he called himself the King of the Jews in Mark and in all the other Gospels. But I think the question is, do I think, at the trial in Mark's Gospel, the high priest is trying to find some way to bring a charge against Jesus. And he asks him, are you the Messiah? Throughout Mark's Gospel up to this point, Jesus has never openly said he's the Messiah. But when the high priest asked him, are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One, the Son of God, Jesus said, I am. And you shall see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven in the glory of the Father, or whatever. And so he says that, and the high priest screams out blasphemy. He tears his robe and says he's worthy of death, and everybody of the Sanhedrin, the Jewish council, agrees, and they hand him over to Pilate, but not on charges of blasphemy. So it's very interesting. One reason it's really interesting that many people haven't noticed is that Jesus never commits a blasphemy. Now, people try to construe this passage in Mark 14 so that Jesus commits a blasphemy, but he does not. When the high priest says, are you the Messiah, the Son of God? He's asking him, are you the future king of Israel? Jesus says, I am. That's not a blasphemy. Some people say, well, the fact that he said, I am, is the blasphemy because he's claiming the name of God. No, I don't think he is. If somebody asks you something, are you this? In Greek, you often just reply, I am. Are you the guy who threw the trash on my lawn? Yeah, I am. It doesn't. So, and it's not that everywhere in the New Testament where the phrase ego eimi, I am, means I am God. Even in the Gospel of John, the Gospel of John is the only place where I am refers to God, Gospel of John. But even in the Gospel of John, in John chapter 9, the man born blind is healed by Jesus. The Pharisees don't believe Jesus could have done it. They ask the guy, are you the guy who's born blind? And he replies, ego eimi, I am. They don't take him out to stone him to death. He's just answering their question. So when it comes as an answer to a question, it's not claiming to be. So Jesus he's not blaspheming and claiming he's the Messiah. He's just saying he's the future king. There's no blasphemy there. He's not saying I am, is just answering the question. And he's not blaspheming by saying the high priest is going to see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven. That's what Daniel says. All he's saying is that Daniel's prophecy is going to be fulfilled in your day. That's not a blasphemy. So the problem is, I think this may be what our Gettysburg demoniac legion here is referring to, is that there's no blasphemy there. Maybe he's not referring to that. But the question is, would he have been convicted by something else if we got the original Mark? No, I don't think so. I think what we've got is probably what happens in the original Mark. I can't prove it. And, I'm not going to wouldn't stake my house on it, but I think there's no reason not to think so. Every copy of Mark has that ending, has that passage like that. So I don't have any reason to suspect it's not original to Mark.